Okay, Chapter 3, Day 4 notes. Today's focus is how do we test for outliers. So we have a data set and we're curious as to whether or not any values are considered to be an outlier. So let's take a look back at that forearm data that I said that we had collected from a previous year. So there's the data. I want to check this data for an outlier. Well, I have to get my 5-number summary. So again, here's the 5-number summary that we did last time. And now we're going to use this data to test for outliers. So, and we're going to do this by hand. So we're going to use our calculator, but it's a calculation that we have to go through by hand. So the first thing is to find the Q1 and the Q3. So we did a 5-number summary, and Q1 is 23 and Q3 is 27. So Q1 is 23 and Q3 is 27. I know those. So now calculate the IQR. And the IQR, or interquartile range, is the difference between Q3 and Q1. So Q3 is 27 minus Q1 is 23. My IQR is 4. Now, what do I do with that? Well, let me move down here a little bit. I'm going to multiply 1.5 times that IQR number. So I'm going to go 1.5 times this IQR number. So this number right here. This method is actually called the 1.5 IQR method. So if I said 1.5 times 4, I get 6. So now what? Now take this number right here, and subtract it from Q1 and add it to Q3. So I got two calculations going on here. The first one is I'm going to take Q1 minus this number, and also add it to Q3. So the other one I'm going to do is Q3 plus this number. So I got to go back up and look up Q1. So Q1 is 23. So 23 minus 6 is 17. And Q3 is 27. 27 plus 6 is 33. So I have taken this 1.5 IQR number, this number, and I subtracted it from Q1, and I also added it to Q3. Now, if any value of the data, if there's any data value, change that. So if any data value, what data value am I talking about? I'm talking about the original set of data right here. If any of these values is less than the lower number or greater than the higher number, then they would be an outlier. So if any data value is less than this number, so I'm looking for numbers less than 17. Are any of these numbers less than 17? No. So we have no low outlier. Let's check the other thing. Or greater greater than the higher number. Do we have any values higher than 33? No. So if we did, they would be outliers, but we do not have any outliers. We do not have any outliers. Those two marks that we use, sometimes people call those the fences. All right, this Q1 minus this number in Q3 plus. Let me show you how we might see those fences. And one way you might see that would be Q1 minus 1.5 IQR and Q3 plus 1.5 IQR. We might see them written this way sometimes. But basically, again, we're finding the IQR, multiplying by 1.5, taking Q1 and subtracting whatever this is, and taking Q3 and adding whatever it is. And those are the two boundaries or the two fences that we determine if there's outliers.